Welcome to the Hot Slice. I am creative director Josh Cowan. Along with me, executive editor Denise Greer. Hello, Denise.
Hello, Josh. It's so nice to have you back on the podcast. We haven't been on together in a while.
I'm back on the podcast. It's been a crazy few weeks just getting ready for the Pizza Expo and a lot of planning going on there. But I'm glad I had a few minutes today to hop on.
Yeah, and we are literally only a little over a month till Pizza Expo, and things are just firing everywhere. So we're firing on all cylinders, getting ready, and it's gearing to be. I think we're going to go for a record. I think it's going to be the biggest, best show we've ever had, and
I think so too.
I'm not gonna, pull any punches on that. I'm gonna say we are gonna be the biggest, best show.
I hope so. We worked really hard on
it. I think so too. All right, so we got one more thing to say. Happy National Pizza Day today. Well, we're not recording it at this time, but when this airs, it will be National Pizza Day. So
that's a big week for pizza. You got the Super Bowl and you got National Pizza Day all in this. I think all the same week. So Thursday and Sunday. So
Well, within 5 days of each other, you have National Pizza Day. You have Super Bowl Sunday, February 12th. The 13th is Galentine's. And if you aren't marketing Galentine's, I think you're really missing out on the opportunity to upsell booze to girls that want to hang out with their friends and eat pizza. Like, you're missing out if you're not going for that market. And then Valentine's Day, because we all know that if White Castle can sell out their restaurant every year for Valentine's Day, we all know that you can do the same thing with yours.
And the heart-shaped pizzas have been a big thing in the last 10 years. So that's a wild week for our pizzeria owners and operators.
Yeah, so buckle up, kids. You're gonna have a wild ride, and don't forget to show your team appreciation, because they are gonna be hitting it so hard this week. Find a way to do something special for them.
Yeah, well, speaking of special, we have a special guest today. Right off his Guinness World Book record-breaking world's largest pizza party in Tulsa, Mr. Mike Bausch.
World's largest pizza party. Can we just say that that's an insane thing to be able to go for? I'm not even. Let's just put it this way. Okay, I'm seeing the official number. 3,357 people.
That's triple the record. And
the record.
There's a lot of rules that go along with this. It's not like just getting 3,000 people together and giving them pizza. No, there's a lot more to it, which we'll go into in the podcast.
Yeah, he's going to tell you all about it.
To pull that off is definitely a feat, and I'm super impressed by it.
And he had a lot of help. He had a lot of help with suppliers that you guys use, and he also had a lot of help with the World Pizza Champions were there to help support him along the way, and his crew, his team, were actually the ones baking off the pizzas in the 6 locations. So I mean, it is an amazing.
And most importantly, raised a lot of money for Make-A-Wish, and so hats off to Mike, World Pizza Champs, the crew, everyone from Tulsa. Wonderful job.
So. Absolutely. And let's go to that. Make-A-Wish, $42,000, over $42,000, and they granted 8 kids' wishes. I mean, that's amazing. It's just congrats, hats off to that crew and that team, and University of Tulsa as well, because they housed it at their men's basketball game. What a smart play to tie it to a sporting event at the university. It's just it's impressive, but we should expect none less from Mike Bausch, because he is meticulous. He will, if he sets his goal, he will achieve it, and he will do it in style, because that's who he is.
Yeah. So, without any further ado, let's let Mike tell you all the logistics behind this whole process.
With extraordinary pizza cheese comes extraordinary rewards. Only Bacio Exceptional Italian Pizza Cheese offers the Gold Club Rewards program with monthly cash back on every cheese purchase. Members also receive funds twice a year to use in their exclusive marketing store. It's their way of saying grazie to customers. Schedule a demonstration at bacciocheese.com/hotslice and discover how rewarding Baccio exceptional Italian pizza cheese can be. Pizza is your legacy. Build it with Baccio. Looking to grow your pizzeria or restaurant? Then you'll want to try the power of a cloud-based POS system. With Hunger Rush, you'll get everything you need. This fully integrated restaurant management system allows you to easily streamline operations, accelerate the delivery process, and grow your business through Hunger Rush 360 marketing. And it's so easy to use. Want AI-powered text ordering? It's built in. Need to track orders? No problem. Schedule a personalized demo at hungerrush.com today. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
We have the Guinness Book World Record holder with us today,
Woo!
Mr. Mike Bausch. How you doing, Mike?
I am well. How are you both?
Doing
Great.
good.
I have a quick question. Do they still print the Guinness Book, like the actual book? Do they still print those this year?
There is a real Guinness book that gets printed every year,
Oh,
and I
wow.
would believe that now we would be in it, which is
That's
nice.
amazing. You're gonna be like
That's
in there
awesome.
with the next to the twins on the motorcycle and the guy with the extra long beard or fingernail.
I asked if we could be right there,
Right
and
there.
not just amazing,
The
Josh,
oddity
but
part.
officially amazing.
Yeah,
Officially
amazing.
amazing per their branding.
I love it. Well, first off, congratulations.
Yeah,
I mean,
congrats.
this is huge. And not only did you go after a record, but you went after a record that involved so many intricacies and so many little points of organization. I mean, you went after something that was big and hard to do. So
that's really a selfish reason I wanted to bring you on the podcast today, was because
yeah,
I want to hear the logistics behind all this, because it sounds amazing.
yeah.
It at first, so how this started was the World Pizza Champions thought, if we all got together outside of Pizza Expo, because we were just a group who likes going to Pizza Expo together, and did a Guinness event to benefit, because we're a 501c nonprofit, Make-A-Wish. What could we do that would garner a lot of attention for that cause? And Guinness is the gold standard of that, because they have no problem saying you failed and walking away. There's no mulligans. You fail, you're done. And I thought world's largest pizza party, 1,046 people, kind of sounded like a layup at first. So, but I kept on thinking to myself, why is it only 1,046? Because there's been larger groupings in America of people than 1,000 people eating pizza simultaneously.
Yeah.
So the logistics are that it has to be all at least a minimum of 1,046 people to beat the record, simultaneously eating 2 slices of pizza.
Yes.
For a full 15 minutes, not going anywhere, that they are enjoying said pizza party with a drink, and per Guinness rules have to completely eat all of it, the crust, the drink, all of it, not leave. And they have to have a
no
choice
bones,
of 3
no
pizzas.
crumbs.
No crumbs, nothing. So on top of that, you have to not only make that much pizza, have it ready, have them not eat it ahead of time, have them stay in place, and then have a proctor for every 50 people. So the more people you have, the more volunteers need to be present to verify that those 50 people out of the total are prepared. Plus, the health department needs to be on site. So that means you can't make pizza all week out of your one shop, and then there you go.
Yeah.
It's a week old, but it's pizza. It needs to be what you would do in your regular shop, which is, no more than 2 hours old. This is where you get into the logistical nightmare of why so few could pull this off or have pulled it off in the past.
Oh my goodness. I can't even begin. Okay, so
is there any dimension on the slices? Just to get
we said
details.
Logistically, we said, what is the smallest we can do so that people could eat it and that we could make as much of it? Because when you deal with the logistics of 10 pizzas and then you get into thousands, you need to know how much oven space and how much could do for every 7 minutes and cook time and all that. So they said 1/4 a 10-inch pizza or an 8 cut of a 10-inch was the minimum they would abide by.
Okay.
And that's what we did. The drink, originally it was like, hey, they have to have a drink. We're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What's the minimum amount of fluid? And they said 8 ounces of water. So we got the squat bottles
Oh yeah.
of water that we knew that we even had to say in the rules, which is not a Guinness rule, it was our rule that no one under 12 could participate. Now my son's 5. I know he could choke down 8 ounces of water and 2 slices of pizza. So I was like, you could participate, Henry, but I don't trust a fickle 9-year-old who doesn't want to, like, I don't want it. Like that another massive caveat of this. If 10% of the people DQ, so let's say you have 3,000 people, which way outdoes the 1,046, but 300, i.e. 10%, don't eat their pizza, walk away, eat early, and don't get another one, you're a DQ, you're a fail.
Oh, wow.
What?
So like if 2,000 people ate it, but 1,000 people didn't, you were a DQ?
I'm saying no, if 2,000 people showed up and 200 people didn't eat the crust.
Oh, wow.
Or if 200 people like walked away for some reason,
10%, you're just done. You're done. Wow. You're out. Insane. I just can't believe it.
I can't imagine how nervous you were the night.
You're like talking to like the parents of the teenagers, like, okay, if they don't eat that crust, you're going to shove it into your mouth. I mean, is there that thing where
I thought that I was afraid if I said that the Guinness judge would be like, you're DQ'd. So what went through my mind? I'll tell you what went through my mind, Denise. On top of this event that the World Pizza Champions along with Andolini's Pizzeria did on a Saturday, on Wednesday, Pizza Hut did it in LA. And we only found out about that 2 weeks beforehand.
Oh my
God. Well, they did the world's largest pizza, but
and this
party. Oh, they did the party, Denise, too.
They did this, and you haven't heard jack about it.
No,
you didn't win.
Well, see, I saw the details on the Pizza Hut partnering with the YouTuber, and they did break the pizza portion of it, but I had no idea about the pizza party.
If Arak is listening to the Hot Slice, Arak's main goal was to bring a bunch of kids together with his 10 million following and Young Gravy performing, and that they were going to destroy the record, and they were shooting for 2,000 to 3,000 people. So I prepared for more than that. And I had no antipathy, like, hey, get the record. I'm going to beat it 3 days later. That's my goal.
Yeah.
I was so prepared, Denise. I'm going to admit this. I had 3 backup plans. I love
how competitive you are.
Well, I was like, if you bring everyone together for Make-A-Wish, you have that many people. People are flying in to compete. You gotta figure it out. That's everything in business is I gotta figure it out. So I was prepared to go to Guinness and like say, hey, if they get 6,000 people, we need a new event. And I was like, what can I do? And someone in my staff said, what if they eat pizzas and play the kazoo simultaneously? And I was like, quick, where can we get 3,000 kazoos in 2 days? And we figured that out. We had that figured out to go to Houston.
You're ready, plan B.
Oriental Supply and pick up 3,000 kazoos, and it came to that. But no, we did not have to purchase kazoos.
You were breaking a damn record one way or another. That's
one way or another. So we shot for 3,400. Was our goal. 850 10-inch pizzas. But then I also just felt bad because if you eat this small amount of pizza, you came to the Andolini's pizza party, and it's a Costco level size slice. So we made 400 more pizzas for a secondary party afterwards.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the 850 pizzas, we also had other. I mean, if you're asking how crazy it was, this is very crazy. We got with Tulsa University in their University of Tulsa game versus Tulane basketball. We then said, now we have an arena, now we have a mic, now we have heaters and all that. What can we do to get bodies there? So we told the student body, and the season ticket holders, but we have no awareness because they already have tickets. How many are going to show? So we sold tickets on our own to go to the event that went to University of Tulsa. So at first I had no idea who was going to show up, but we got to 2,200 tickets sold. And that's when I said, well, Now we're going to definitely beat the amount if we keep selling tickets. And I shut it off right at 2,200. And that allowed for however many students and season ticket holders would show up. We made 3,400 servings and 3,383 people walked through the door in the 45 minutes that we had allotted to it. The last person walked in with 30 seconds to spare, got in their seat, and then we started the contest. And the Guinness judge was like, you could do all this, but you could put instructions out that say, don't eat it. You could put it on the microphone. You're going to have a lot of people. You're dancing with that 10% of people that eat the food ahead of time, that drink their water ahead of time, because people just do that. And I said, not Tulsans, people, but not Tulsans.
You're like,
people here are cool. And everyone in the community was super behind it, because I think we've just done enough in our community over the last 20 years. And of that 3,383, 26 people out of all that had to leave for whatever reason, or go to the bathroom, or not finish their crust, or had some issue that they got a DQ, which is nowhere near 10%.
Wow,
so
that's amazing.
Is the metrics.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty good, because 26, that's it.
That says so much about your community, though. I mean, like, for them to, first of all, I mean, I was watching
Just
all
showing
lives and seeing the organization of how everyone was sitting down and patiently waiting, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah, and
people showed up 2.5 hours early.
And how you had it packaged, so you had it, they had the slices in a little container with the lid and the drink with it, and then we just saw them walking around. Like and you had to prepare that, you said 2 hours in advance, like they could only be like,
well, so the reason why we had 45 minutes, we could have had them sit in their seats right at 3:00 or at 2:45 when people started showing up, but we kept them in line outside, because the food was started to be made at like 3 or like 3:30, 3:45, and then hit there at 5 to be given to them for them to go sit down. So to abide by health department rules.
Let's talk about the food for a second. Like,
how many ovens did you have going?
Yeah, how many stores, how many ovens? What was the process of all that?
We had 6 locations, all of our locations, doing different totals. We had Rotoflex ovens help us by doing it. We also had a pizza master at one location and Rotoflex ovens at the rest. We have one location that does fully dedicated to catering, so it was able to crank out half of all the pizzas. And then each of the other stores was able to do 100 pizzas in that amount of time, leading us to our 850 number. And then they went right into making pizzas for the secondary party the second they were done with it.
Okay.
Did you have to close any stores to get this done, or
no?
Wow.
No stores closed, no managers out of the mix. The beauty of this attempt was that we did it again in the afternoon, all hands on deck.
Yeah.
And then the World Pizza Champions, our team of 40 pizza makers, independent pizza makers from across America and the world, all handling on-site logistics.
Yeah. And that helps when you have a team like that. I mean, my goodness.
That's insane.
All the talent there.
Before we get into the partnerships, when you talk about, like, okay, so they made the pizzas, was everything then organized into the individual things at the site, or did you do that in the location and transfer it there?
We cut and we did all the math, because we did run-throughs upon run-throughs. We realized that a tin, like a rice and bean tin, as we mentioned earlier, was our easiest, least amount of space of real estate. Also, it's metal, so it could keep it hotter longer, and that we could fit 40 of those into our branded bags. So 40 makes it, the logistics of the number, easier. If we had put it into boxes and then separate, now we're out the box cost. Okay, but it's doing a dance that's unnecessary. So it was really about cutting it and putting it into those containers immediately. Then having rules outside that people got when they came in, having a lanyard of their number of what person they were to keep track of people. Then they had another set of rules with a QR code to donate to Make-A-Wish. Also a QR code that linked to an hour of cat videos to keep them entertained.
Fantastic.
Cat videos. That's
And
great.
that's what it was like, do not open this or else this is for nothing.
Yeah.
We also said the first 1,000 people got a free sweatshirt of the event, which helped solidify. I don't think we even needed to do it, but we did do it, and it helped really solidify the base. Because at first we're like, we need to. The problem of these other events, New York failed, Chicago failed, LA failed, all within the last 365 days, was either not crowd controlling, not logistically controlling, or they just didn't have enough people show up. So that's what we had to work on.
Oh, wow. So you got to kind of look at some of these other failures and say, okay, here's a couple things that we can do better and make it happen.
Yes.
How long did it take you to actually get the planning and logistics down, before the actual date?
The first call or the first day we said let's do this was 8 months ago, but Guinness, not that they're like aware or care. Guinness don't care.
Yeah,
you get like the rules from Guinness. I think we got that in September, and we were asking questions about it till November. We finally met with our judge on the phone in December, so I only was able to somewhat solidify a plan by December. We had a different location, then we moved it to the University of Tulsa because we saw the basketball game would have been a really good opportunity, and I did that in December. So as much as we had planned for a long time, the real nuts and bolts planning occurred 4 to 5 weeks out.
Wow, that's a lot to do in 45 weeks. That's insane. All right, so now let's talk about the World Pizza Champions and how you all came together. How were you able to assemble everyone, especially on a Saturday night? Because a lot of them already, they have their own shops to deal with, and you were able to get them out.
Getting everyone here, you were always working on projects, and the World Pizza Champions started with Tony Gimignani and a competitive pizza team, and it still is that, but it has morphed over the years into being a 501c nonprofit that is a group of pizza makers who love Pizza Expo. That's how we all met each other, and we are seeking people who are doing something really unique in the pizza world, but they're like dedicated lifers to it, and they're also seeking to do cool stuff with this. So it was like, we need to do something beyond just Expo. Nothing against, obviously we love Expo, but something that's the team. And as much as it was a team event, we had people driving in from Texas who dig what we do, that we didn't even know, never even gone to Expo before. Like, hey, I heard about this thing, I'd love to see it. So it was anyone who wanted to participate was in it with us. And that's what our goal, and our charity is Make-A-Wish, because we, pizza and kids, it's a great thing. And Make-A-Wish is not just a charity, they're a network that really mobilizes such an amazing cause to send kids that need light in their life. And that's why it's so special to us. So it was a win on those fronts. And then logistics is my thing, and it's the WPC's thing. On top of that, it was a great opportunity for the people who we partner with, like Hormel, Performance Food Group, Roma, Bacchio, all wanted to do something else with us on a large scale, and this made sense. So we got all that money together, so we had like a base level of donation, even if this thing was a colossal failure, which it was not. And then the University of Tulsa's president walked up to me in the last minute of the contest, of the attempt. I've never met him before. He just walks up, he's like, hey, whatever you guys do here, we'll double it, we'll match it. And I looked over at like this other guy, and I said, is that really the president? He's like, that's not just a guy, right? And they said, no, that's really the president. Like, so that's legit. And so I went on the announcer, and we got all the way to 40K in that moment, 42,000 by the time everything was said and done, to send 8 kids on wishes with Make-A-Wish.
Awesome. Now, will you be able to will you know what those 8 wishes are? I'm just curious about the actual wishes. Will you be able to know? Yes and no.
So on site that day, there was a girl who was waiting for her wish to get funded, and she was there, and she spoke to the group, and her wish was to go on the Netflix show Wednesday. And now Make-A-Wish has funded that wish.
Oh, that's cool.
Amazing. I'm sure one of them's going to see John Cena, because he's got the most Make-A-Wish grants. I mean,
he does.
It's like in the 400 or 500s. It's amazing.
Yes. The most amount of kids typically go to Disney World, and Disney is great in like setting them up, having their flights, and That's the network that they built. John Cena is exemplary. He's cheaper though. Like it's just, hey, let's just get the kid when John Cena is, he's always everywhere. And that doesn't cost them a lot, which is why he's able to do so many. And if it was theoretically John Cena appearances, we're at like maybe 30, Josh, that we've funded. But for the classic experience of going to Disney, which is around, I think they said pretty much half are Disney. That's what we pulled off there.
Okay.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. You know, as I think about pulling off this event, you know, what were some of the things that were unexpected during the whole thing?
So the freaky thing was, I have that morning during the event and even after, I was like, why has nothing gone wrong yet? This is freaking me out. Something has to, like, we had the piddly things that went wrong. I booked the wrong dates for the Guinness Judges Hotel.
Oops.
And moved it within, let me change it on my hotels.com app like that. That was easy. I sent one thing to print that didn't get printed, and we just printed it on Xerox paper the day before. So far, that's all I had. 2 flyers to put out.
Wow.
We had all the lanyards for each. We got them sent to us, and they were all lanyard string and placard separate. So you had 40 world pizza champions dutifully putting 3,400 lanyards together as fast as we could in the middle of a day.
That's awesome.
And then in the moment, because we had 45 minutes to seat everyone, the University of Tulsa's gym is set up where usually you walk around the concourse and then enter. Well, we had to enter them into our quote unquote quarantine zone, which allowed for less space to walk. And we saw that occurring in real time. And I ran up and my brother was there and he's like, we got to do something. And like, hold on, let's get this and this out of the way. And we started funneling people down to the floor of the gym and then up into the stands. And that was calling an audible. And those are the 3 only things that went wrong that whole day. I got to a point, I ran a red light that day, and I was with a friend who's like, it's okay. Like the Blues Brothers, we're on a mission from God. Nothing can go wrong today. If this wasn't for Make-A-Wish, this wouldn't work. And I said, I think you're right. I think we're on a mission from God, and we're allowed to run the red light today.
Well, a lot goes into your, I'm going to shout out to your planning and to all the planning you did and all the help you had.
Meticulous.
The meticulous planning that, and if it went right. So,
once I got to the middle, I would be like, I got to trip myself, make that the, trip myself, maybe sprain an ankle, sprain a hand, a wrist. I don't know, just to make sure that was what went wrong and not something big.
I was thinking the same thing, Denise. I really was like, this is going too well. The judge also came in hot. Our Guinness judge came in like, these mass participation ones are always a pain. They don't work. People don't listen. When it's just one guy building something big, it's like, of course it's going to work. This was, you have, a lot of variables for failure, and no one's pulled off 1,000, and we're telling him we're going for triple that. So he was like, okay.
What was his response after you pulled it off, though? What was his?
I did not say anything till I had that plaque in hand. And then I said, and he's like, it was very well organized. You guys did a good job. I was like, yeah, right. Right.
So how was the judging? Because I'm sure you kind of watched him move and maneuver and stuff. What was the judging like? Like, how was it dealing with, a Guinness judge? What was that? What was that
very
like?
serious. Guinness judges are media trained, so they know what to do and how to interview for whether it's national or local press. On top of that, they don't allow filming of the rules. He was very stern in that sense. And he's explaining to the stewards exactly what will be expected of them, and that anything that they do that is problematic to that could cause for a massive issue. And that's all they're there. It's not like he shows up way in advance.
I am a fellow Guinness judge. I judged all Scott Wiener's pizza boxes.
You did? I know they didn't send someone out. Wait, Scott was in New York, and they didn't send a judge to him to do that?
No, they needed media people from the industry. So we were there already doing a tour, and And so we went
I
over to his
remember that.
house, his apartment, and we counted every one of his pizza boxes twice.
Well, there you go. Feather in your hat, sir. They the official, like, he has the whole suit and get up. They have the plaque ready if it wins, but it doesn't say the total on it. So that's what I have behind me. I have the plaque without the total on it.
Okay.
And then you have the total, and that's that. And the judge in and of itself, he also says, so this is what's going to happen, and if you pass, I'll present it. If you don't, you won't see me because I get paid either way.
He's like, I'm out.
I'm
He just
gone.
like disappears.
Exactly.
Oh,
Like
that's insane.
Batman after talking to Commissioner Gordon, just gone.
Yeah. All right. It's been a little bit of time since you broke the record. You know, what's happened since? You know, what's happened for Andolini's? What's happened, you know, maybe in the world of pizza? You know, what have you kind of gotten back
What's kind of shook loose
Yeah.
since this all happened, like even business wise?
It's an interesting thing from an operator standpoint. When you are up against something like that, we were trying to craft what our messaging would be after the event, and I thought that was presumptuous, A, and B, I thought I won't know what the message is until it's done.
Yeah.
And what struck us, and it's so obvious, but what struck us too was pushing catering. That's our easiest win now. If someone's like, well, I mean, yeah, you guys are nice, but can you really feed my whole company?
And you're
Yeah,
like, well,
you can. Look at the Guinness thing. We can. So marketing it from that angle on a local side, that's the layup. And that's what I advise of anyone who goes to Expo to do. The amount of people who go to Pizza Expo and don't even, it's their first or second year going to it. It's a layup for home press, especially if they're in like a tier 3 town. If they're in Sheboygan, it could be local pizzeria operator goes to compete on the national stage. That's already a press story. That's already awareness, even if you do nothing there. Then he scored 3rd in the Southwest. Boom, another press story. It's parlaying it to create revenue for your restaurant, for your employees that you are in charge of, that you are the person who's responsible for their livelihood, and finding ways to create that story. I am fascinated by the amount of people who will come out of Expo with a win and they're like, oh, well, looks like dinner's paid for, and not think of anything else to do with it.
And as a person, I've worked in the media in those size of towns. You're always looking for any kind of story possible.
Anything.
So they'll happily run with that.
I mean, even Louisville sized town, they're always looking for a good story. I think it's a no-brainer to market that, I think. And I have seen a lot of national press for you for the Guinness record. So it's you guys are on the national stage.
Some people are afraid, like, well, do I call my news company? Because then you might get the news sales agent who's selling you, and you don't really want that. You want to put this as a press release, which there's a million examples online. Get a press release, get that to them. That's going to get to the reporter who's a 25-year-old communications major who has to fill content that day, who will come and interview you. And it's no more crazy than that.
Oh yeah. That now you can just ping them on Instagram and find the actual reporter and say, okay, this person writes really good stories on restaurant folks. I want them to write on us, and you stalk them. That's what it's just the best thing to do.
You couldn't be more right, Denise, and that's exactly what I advise people to do at International Pizza Expo, only a few weeks away, and I'm pivoting on your behalf of this interview.
I love it.
But I'm very stoked for it, because I have a whole new batch of seminars that delve into that type of stuff. And I took all the things that I wrote in my book, and I'm doing one day all geared towards entry-level issues. And then the whole other seminar deal towards maximizing existing restaurant issues. So you have a restaurant, how do you get these wins and market them bigger? Or you're brand new, how do you establish your name and your place in the world and your brand? And those types of things really excite me, because every year there's the evergreen new people, the evergreen stories that are always going to resonate because they haven't heard them before. And then there's the new stuff, like, how to really play off not just third party, but what's Instagram versus TikTok doing and how they're interacting. Each year it's a different knowledge base that I'm actively using because I'm actively dealing with it, that I am stoked to tell someone across America for no other reason that I'm just like, I figured it out. You want to hear about it? Because I'm stoked about it. Do you dig this? And it usually works well like that.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, you are a favorite. We hear from operators all the time, that are like, get Mike Bausch back out here. We want to hear from him. He's and they like it because you are real with them. You don't pull any punches. You let them know the good, the bad, and how to be successful. And that's really what they need.
And I appreciate it. I've never, I mean, my first article was just like saying, hey, Jeremy, I have this thing that I'm thinking of. And he was like, who are you? and I said, this is something that's been in my head. He's like, yeah, write an article. And then,
yeah, sure.
6 months later, I said, I have this other thing. And really, there's stuff that's in my head. I'm like, I think it might help someone, so let me do it. It's never been, there's no angle. I've never had an angle in what I give out.
Yeah.
And so I think it resonates more because it's not like now do this. It's just, this is what I think and this is what I'm using. And so that's what I've always liked about Pizza Expo, is because people helped me out when I needed it. And if I can help someone else out from that real raw perspective of, this is exactly what I'm doing and this is where I failed with it, this is what I'm succeeding with it, have that. I just think it's giving good to the world, and it lands something fun, which this is the culmination of that. The World Pizza Champions have been together for 20 years, but we finally did something cool on the largest stage possible, thanks to everyone just wanting to do cool stuff.
That's right. It's how you do it. I mean, doing cool stuff is amazing. So let's go out on this question. What advice do you have for other operators who maybe want to go for some kind of record? It may not be a Guinness record, maybe it's something else, but
or just a community thing in general.
Who want to try to establish themselves
fundraising.
With a fundraiser like that.
I think any mass participation thing needs to be easily accessible, and you have to lead with fun. It has to be fun. I mean, I said cat videos. Part of that's just like my dumb personality, but it's also, if they're in their seat for an hour and they think this sucks and I blame Andolinis, that's not the feeling I want them to have. If they leave, if I got the award for our team and we're great, but then they're like, I'm still hungry, that's not the feeling I want them to have. So it has to start still customer first.
Yeah.
After that, it's how do we give this whole we're in on this together vibe. And then whatever it is, just lean into stupid. People are so afraid of looking dumb. Like, look dumb. Dumb is the path to profit. I'm gonna say this, and I was apprehensive to say this, but I do stupid stuff all day and it makes money. Like, we have a new salad brand, and I was trying to like do gorgeous salad like food video today to it, and then a song came on our radio, and it was like kind of a dancey song, and then I thought, well, we're trying to tell people like to get in shape with salads. So then a Megan Thee Stallion song, I said, put that on, and I had like the salad like dance, like it was bouncing up and down, and I was like, amazing. That's a video. Put audio from Megan Thee Stallion to that salad, and then we'll promote it that way. And maybe that lands, maybe it doesn't, but leaning into that and not doing what I've seen the gorgeous food shot. Like I haven't seen salads dance.
People are going to gloss over those gorgeous food shots. They really do.
Exactly.
But if you got a salad shaking it, it's I think throw it on
TikTok. Yada, and it's a salad.
Throw it on TikTok, man. You're gonna.
But even more so, not only are you watching it, but those are the things that I send to my friends, because we just send each other TikToks all day long, and so you just send them that TikTok. So it's shareable.
So that goes back to the original, like, you can't do that if you work in an IT company. No. If you're working at an IT company, it's not like you're going to stop your day. So people are like, well, I put the cheese on the bread, I baked it, what else you want from me? I'm like, you could stop there, or you could have so much more fun with this job if you allow yourself to, if you realize that there's no barriers other than the self-imposed ones, and really lean into it. And the second you do that, you will see more profit. You will have less attrition because your staff will want to work there because it's fun, it's cool, they're a part of something. And whether it's just a mass participation event or staff just being stoked about something, all of that leads to more good stuff. And that's why leaning into the stupid is a ROI winner every time.
Well, and people love, authenticity. And if you're authentic and it comes across, on social media, people are going to gravitate to that, and so it works every time.
Absolutely.
We see it across, like the guys who have followings are the ones posting their stuff and doing cool stuff. They're just into it. They're just into it.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
And it resonates. So that's the important thing. Well, awesome. Thanks, Mike, for coming on today and just chatting us up. I learned something new every time I talk to you. So it's amazing. And I can't wait to see you here in a couple of months.
We'll see you in a few weeks.
Month.
Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada.
Fabulous Las Vegas. All right. Sweet.
We'll see you there, Mike. Thanks.
All right.
See you guys. Have a great day.